We emptied out the bag of holding in his hand. We emptied out the bag of holding in his hand. We emptied out the bag of holding in his hand. The bag of holding in Harshnag's hand. A pile of sand and a head fell in his hand. A pile of sand and a head fell in his hand. A pile of sand and a head fell in his hand. Sand and head in Harshnag's hand. The 18-sided ball was in his hand. The 18-sided ball was in his hand. The 18-sided ball was in his hand. 18-sided ball in Harshnag's hand. It just kept on getting bigger in his hand. It just kept on getting bigger in his hand. It just kept on getting bigger in his hand. A massive ball in Harshnag's hand. Once we'd shown the ball to Harshnag, we thought that we should take the half-dead woman back to work so she could be back with the people she knew. The one alive and those we slew. Adventure continues.
Okay, you head back on in to the temple room where there are all these statues. Harshnag is still looking at this. You can see him looking at this orb, and he's looking it over, and he says, "It is compelling. I see things within."
Are you still touching it, Harshnag?
It's in his hands. I mean, it's a redundant question, but yes.
That's a very lustrous speech pattern that you've got there. I think maybe you should put it down. We should all have a rest, and we'll normal procedure. I think I'm not sure that we want to fully trust Urka and Nori to not kill us in our sleep, but
yes, I will. Put this down.
Oh.
And you see him just sort of like, he does comply, but slowly. And it starts, and he sort of just bends down and he puts it on the ground. Interesting.
You okay, Harshnag?
Yes. I am sorry. Sorry, my mind was elsewhere.
Did you, Harshnag, please,
yes.
Were you having any unusual thoughts then?
Unusual? No. I mean, I was daydreaming about my life as it could have been. I was seeing myself in the far north, raising a family. It was a fantasy of a life lived without adventure. Of course, perhaps an adventure of a different kind.
Gregomel, you don't know the spell Identify, do you?
I don't believe so.
No.
No, I do not.
Roll me an Arcana.
That is an unnatural 20.
You probably, within your knowledge of magics and things like that, probably, and given where you are and given everything else that you're trying to do here, you suspect that this orb has probably got some sort of like divination properties to it. You don't know. I mean, given that it's an unusual object, that it's grown in size since Harshnag has held it, the fact that it's got this sort of moving, almost substance within. There's lots. It's clearly magical in some respects, and putting two and two together, you probably suspect it has some sort of divination properties. Okay, so with that, taking a long rest.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
In this room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should take one person on guard at each time.
Can I block Is there only one door back to the room that we just came from with the other people in?
The entranceway. You have a look around the room. You probably inspect this room a little bit, and what you find is obviously you only have this one doorway. The only other thing you can see as you investigate this room with a bit more detail is you see. I'll move you in particular, Davos, so you can see where this is. You can see that there is to the north and to the south of the doorway. There are these like little tunnels, and essentially you see like some portcullises. This one on the north side appears to be completely fine.
Can I ask a question? What is that word you said? Portcullis.
Portcullis. It's like an iron gate, like door that sort of lifts up and down. Okay. To the south, there is a similar one. However, this one appears to be blocked by rocks. There appears to be like a pile of rocks this side of the portcullis that appears to be, it's probably about 8 to 10 foot tall. And it's very much blocking any entrance through this way. Whereas the other portcullis is just there. You can't see any levers or any buttons or anything like that there. You can see through, and you can essentially see back through to the tunnel where you were previously when you first entered the temple. When you first sort of that tunnel that was near the lever that opened, that closed the blocks. So that's what you can see where that leads to. And these portcullises appear to be very thick. There are gaps between them, which almost certainly would be able to keep medium-sized creatures out. You, however, as a small creature, could get through. Like if you wanted to pass through the portcullis, you could squeeze through quite easily. But pretty much Urka and the rest of Urka and Nori couldn't get through it. The rest of your party couldn't get through it, but you certainly could get through that portcullis if you wanted to.
Okay, so I reckon that's relatively safe. If I can...
So to summarise, you've got these portcullises which are technically points of entrance, but you can't see how they open or close, and realistically are going to prevent anyone getting in and out.
Yeah.
And then there's the one doorway that at the moment is open. You sort of, because it's this big heavy door, you sort of opened it and left it open. But you could shut it, obviously, or Hashtag could
Which
shut
way
it for
does it
you.
open? I'm just thinking if I can block it with a movable rod.
It opens... I'm just trying to think how he opened it. It opens out into the entrance. So your immovable rod wouldn't... From this side, the immovable
There's
rod
no handles that I
wouldn't
could tuck it in. I suppose I couldn't do both doors, so no, that's fine.
No.
Cool.
You also have to the north and south, it's worth remembering, there's also 4 sets of doors as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking so that they don't kill us in our sleep. I suppose
Yeah,
should still keep watch from the other sides as well, I suppose.
Okay. All right then. So you do that. You certainly can't block it. You could certainly shut the door. These are large doors, and you know from when Harshnag opened them, medium-sized characters aren't going to open these doors on their own.
Yeah, fair enough.
Realistically. So if Harshnag shuts those doors, they're probably not going to be able to get through the doors unless they find another way through, but certainly not going to be able to open those doors as they are. Okay?
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. All right, you settle down for a long rest, and this is the first time you've had a long rest for nearly two weeks in a a proper stable building. You've been sleeping out on the road. You've been traveling for 10 or so days, and it's sort of a bit unnerving almost to have a bit of security and a bit of stone above your head. Every now and again, you sort of hear and feel like the trickle of pebbles and stone falling from the ceiling. Like it's as stable as it is. Ultimately, this is a place that's been carved into the side of a mountain. So it's not completely stable. You can see there's cracks on the ground. There's been some perhaps earthquakes and things like that over the years that have done some damage to this. But you feel pretty secure and safe. There's a sense of awe in the room, though, with all these, it's quite a weird feeling to sort of sleep in this huge, huge room with all these statues. And, every now and again you look over at Harshnag and there's still just this sense of wonder on his face, of just sort of like disbelief that he's finally made it to this place. But you get through the night and have a lovely, lovely long rest. Were some of you still exhausted from the travel? I feel like one or two you might have been.
No, I don't think anyone was.
No, I think we healed it last time.
Okay.
I think Smudger might have had one level.
Okay. Well, regardless.
Full hit points. That's so nice to see.
And obviously, Harshnag himself gets himself back to full hit points.
More excitingly,
just-
full amount of spell slots.
Wow, indeed. Talk to me about the night time, because obviously, were you doing anything midnight, before the night, anything like that? Any sort of?
I'd have resummoned Vin before I
Okay.
rested.
Yeah, okay. You would have taken an hour to settle down. And you would have done that. That's absolutely fine.
I'll have a read of my Arcana book.
Okay, you find some very interesting information about Arcana and blasters, and how you can blast with Arcana. Nothing materially mechanically happens, but it's just a fascinating read, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
As a man of brawn rather than magic, it's all just fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
You said that I found a nice looking longbow. Is there anything beyond a nice looking longbow?
Okay, overnight you or either side of your long rest, you have a look at it, and you realise that this is a +1 longbow.
Nice. Does anyone want a +1 longbow?
No, mate. Got one in it. Quinch has got one.
Wouldn't use it.
We're so far into the game that a +1, everyone just turns their fucking nose up at it. Right?
I'm not sure I can even use a longbow.
Don't think I can.
No.
Has Quinch got a +1 longbow?
Is short shit not +1?
The sure shit is +4. Is that? How would I tell if it's +1?
What's your strength?
Oh, strength. Yeah, it is +1.
Is it +1? Oh, fair enough. Well, you got an extra +1 longbow. Should you want it? Should you desire it?
Wonder if I could fashion it into anything.
I'll pop it in the bag of holding if you want. If you don't want to carry it.
Yeah, do it. Bag holding.
I'll pop that in.
Okay. You also found 3 daggers as well.
Bog standard or?
Yeah, these appear to be just normal daggers.
I've still got the hand axes from the lady. They just normal hand axes.
Standard hand axes. Yeah.
I'll keep them as throwables because they're always useful when I can't get up close and.
Okay, right. You wake up the next morning refreshed, laying in this temple room, and you wake up and the orb still sat on the floor where Harshnag left it. He hasn't moved it or interfered with it or anything like that. And he looks over to you and he says, "Good morning, everyone. I apologize for yesterday. I felt a little bit spaced. I think some of you would use the word. I felt a little different. I had a good sleep, though, and I feel fully refreshed. And would you like me now to climb the statue and place the object in Anam's hand?"
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So he picks it up and he puts it in his hand. You sort of see him sort of like look down at it, and you sort of just see he sort of looks deeply longing into this thing, and sort of then sort of tucks it under his arm like he's carrying a carpet, for example. And then he looks up at the statue and says, "This is going to be difficult with one arm, but Harshnag is strong climber. Let's do this." And you see him like managing to find this. This is a very intricate carved statue, and you can see that he is able, with shifting the stone around and moving it all around himself, he manages to climb up this statue with some difficulty, but not to the extent that there's any fear of him falling. And he eventually gets to the point where the statue holds out its hand, and you see him sort of like cling like and sort of strength, make sure that he's like got carrying all his weight up against the statue, and he sort of like reaches and gets the stone, and he you can see it's just at the outstretch of his arm. He can't quite get to the hand, and he's sort of like stretching and stretching and stretching, and eventually sort of like gets it balanced on the hand, on the arm. And you can see him just nudging it and nudging it and nudging it. And eventually this stone falls into the hand of the statue. As it does, you start seeing like it starts glowing, it starts getting brighter, and shooting out from it are 6 beams of light.
Oh.
They all essentially shoot out from the statue and hit the weapons being held by the various giant statues around. So Scorius and Thrym and Strunmus, Grelanta, Surtur, and Memnor, all of them are holding these weapons. Sorry, except for... Sorry, I got that wrong, sorry.
Correct, except for the missing...
Except for Strunmus, I think it is.
Yeah.
The cloud giant one is missing.
Yeah.
But all the others, it still shoots out to where you expect there to be a weapon. But obviously there is no weapon there. The other weapons, although it hits there. The other thing that happens is you suddenly see these runes around the archway start to light up. There's a similar light effect that comes up, and it's like little twinkling lights on there where the runes were. That you may recall they were carved, and there was an inlay of adamantine, and the adamantine carvings now suddenly twinkle. The archway itself, other than that, stays the same. That the cloud is still there, but you don't. But these 2 changes of effects happen. What do you want to do? Harshnag is still clinging to the statue, and he's looking around, and you suddenly see, this tear, roll down his face. Like, this is all magic to him. This is just,
magic for us all.
It is.
Wow.
I don't think it would... So did you say the runes lit up, all of them?
All of the weapons of a beam. So the stone itself sort of started glowing. 6 beams of light hit the weapons or the area where a weapon should be.
Yeah.
And then the runes around the archway started glittering.
The actual archway itself, any change?
No, that all stayed the same. So you still got this smoke, this mist, like it was. Nothing changes about that. So you think that whatever you've done has certainly changed things, but it hasn't necessarily allowed you to
I think
walk
we
through.
Need that missing weapon.
Yeah, definitely.
Do we all come into that reckoning?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. Harshnag, are you coming back down?
Sorry, Krill, yes. I was mesmerized by the beauty of this. It is unbelievable. Are you not all just awestruck by this moment?
It
We are
is.
seeing something.
It's truly magical, but I think it could be made more magical by us completing this puzzle.
Yes, you are right, Krill. He starts climbing down, and he gets down to floor level, and he says, "What is your suggestion then?"
We need to find this missing weapon, don't we?
That is possible. It is curious. While you were in the tunnels, I was thinking about this. You may recall you asked me at some point whether or not I felt it would be blasphemous for me to pick up Thrym's axe. Well, someone has clearly moved one of the weapons. Yeah, the Strunmouse does not have, I believe it is a spear he would be carrying. So someone somewhere has done something. Before we go any further, perhaps... And he sort of starts walking over to Thrym. And he sort of sizes up the statue. And you see him sort of pull his own axe out from behind himself. And he looks at it, and he's sort of then... You see him sort of almost absent-mindedly sort of drop it on the floor. Yes. Let us see. And he reaches up and he grasps his hand around the axe in Thrym's hands. And he looks around at you. Well, nothing has happened by me holding it. And then he lifts it off the statue. As this happens, the light follows the axe.
Oh, fuck.
This is most curious. And he's sort of like, he's holding it in his hands. This feels very good in my hands. Don't make silly jokes, you boys. And you sort of see him like twirl it around his hand. He sort of just looks incredibly powerful with this thing. It is peculiar. It does not feel like it is a magical weapon. It does not feel any more powerful than my old axe, but there is something right about this.
Okay, what was that?
And...
Oh, go on.
No, go on.
Did we not say before that the weapons were larger? Like the statues are larger than a giant, and therefore the weapons would be larger.
Yeah, it is larger, but it's not so large that he has to carry it cumbersomely or anything like that. So, it is giant. It is a little bit bigger than a normal giant-sized weapon. But the statues themselves. So let's take this as an example. If I remember correctly, Harshnag himself is about 20 foot tall. The statue of Thrym, I think, is about 30 or 40 foot tall. So it is bigger than him. The weapon itself, though, isn't necessarily double the size of his weapon.
So what I was thinking, and obviously this has somewhat been disproven, is that Harshnag held the orb and it adjusted to his size. So I didn't know if the weapons might have the same effect of adjusting to the size of the wielder, and therefore us putting a normal spear, I think it was, in the missing spot would grow to the size of the statue. I now don't think that's what's going to happen. But
the shaft of light that's pointing towards where the spear should be, is it actually pointing towards where the spear should be?
Yeah, where is that pointing?
Or is it carrying on past it?
So it is that light is still on where the spear should be. But interestingly enough, the one that was pointing to the axe on Thrym is still pointing to the axe, even though it's in Harshnag's hands. So it's it's following the axe.
So I'm thinking then, is the spear actually still there?
Yeah, the spear is in. I think the beams of light. We can conclude that the beams of light follow the weapons. It means that the spear is in line with that beam. It may just be coincidental that it happens to be exactly where it is. So we could try and find a way to follow the beam of light.
So the beam of light hits the statue. You so with that in mind, you start looking around the statue.
Yeah, does the beam of light penetrate?
Of Stronmos. So you then sort of start looking around Stronmos's statue, and you sort of go round to the back of it to see if the light carries on through the statue and beyond. It doesn't. As far as you can tell, this light stops at Stronmos.
Maybe we have to destroy the statue?
Do we as players heard some backstory about Countess Censuri? Was that just something that we as players heard as a backstory?
Yes, your characters don't know that.
Yeah,
you read that.
Okay.
Harshnag is holding this, and you see him, and he's like I say, he's wielding it. He's looking at it over and says, "It is really peculiar. I wonder if." And he starts walking over towards the archway. No, it could not be so simple. And you see him look for the ice rune. Surely not. And he reaches out with his weapon and the axe, and he touches it on the ice rune. And in that instant, a blast of light comes through the archway. There is still this smoke, but all of a sudden you can see through it into another room on the other side.
Oh fuck!
It's good that Harshnag solved this for us, because I didn't have a fucking clue. Lads,
and he looks around at you. He looks around at you and says, "We have found the Oracle, my friends. Let us proceed."
One of a Ceefax man.
And you see him with that step through the smoke and the mist into the other side.
We sort of have to go. We have to, right?
Yeah.
We have to.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You follow Harshnag through. You step through into this small room, this much smaller room than what you were within. Beyond the thundering archway lies a hexagonal chamber whose walls rise 50 feet before tapering to a 90-point high apex. Standing in each corner of the room is a life-size statue. So these are obviously much smaller than the ones that you've just come from. There's a life-size statue of a giant holding up a heavy iron lantern with one raised arm. Below each of them lies empty plates, large sort of bowls plates. Each type of giant is represented: hill, stone, frost, fire, cloud, and storm. A cold magical light radiates from each of these lanterns, illuminating the room, and in particular a giant corpse which lays on the floor beneath a shroud of frost in the middle of the room. The corpse looks like it's been here for some time, preserved by the cold. Next to the body rests a giant, frost-covered morning star. As you look around, you look at the archway from this side of the room, and you notice that the archway does not have similar runes around it. It has nothing glowing. It seems very simple. It seems the same size. It seems very, very simple, though. What do you wish to do?
Certainly say to Harshnag, does this make any sense to you?
Nothing of this makes sense to me, Quench. This is all new. The fact that there are further representatives of my kind and my cousins. This appears to be the end of our journey. I suspect it has taken us some challenges to get here, so I do not doubt we are in the right place. But what any of this means, I do not know.
What were you expecting to find?
I do not know. I was hoping to find an oracle. I find 6 statues in a room and a dead body. Is the dead body the oracle? I do not know. None of this makes sense to me.
I mean,
This is...
Surely we'll check the dead body out. That's the obvious thing to do, right?
We do. I'd probably ask Harshnag if he minds, first of all. I think we very much have to make sure that we don't do anything that would offend or upset Harshnag. So I'll do that. Harshnag, do you mind if we inspect the body?
Please go ahead, Krill. It appears to have been here for quite some time, so I see no reason why we should not look at it.
Is it human-sized or giant-sized body?
No, it's a giant. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have a little look see at the body if no one else minds or.
Yeah, no, let's.
It's just got to be King Hekaton, or whatever his name was.
Nah, it's just going to be a random.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, just quickly. Wasn't there a giant that was killed in one of our little cutscenes that we don't know about?
Don't believe so. I don't think it was a giant.
There was some random giant that got his head cut off by. Who was
the Countess?
No, not the Countess. The other guy, the fire giant.
The Countess was torturing a
Duke.
dragon.
The Duke.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's all meta because we don't actually know about that. But
yeah.
I'm assuming it's not missing a head though.
I mean, depends. You haven't got close enough. Right now, you haven't necessarily got close enough to it. But from here, you can see a corpse in the middle of this room.
Okay, I will inspect.
And it is giant. It is giant size. You know that around it there is sort of frost everywhere on the floor, particularly around it. It's been here long enough that frost has built up over it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll do a close up inspection.
Okay. You head further into the room. Harshnag stays by the door and he says, I'm not sure whether or not we can get in or out of this room easily, so I will stay here just in case we need to exit quickly. And yes. So he stays there and you start heading into the room. And, despite the fact that you've just come from a much, much larger room, this is still impressive in its own right. As you walk closer and closer to the statue, you get approximately 10 foot away from it, when all of a sudden you start seeing just wisps of blue, like smoke, like substance or texture starting to lift up from the body. It starts swirling and swirling and swirling around. What do you want to do?
Krill would probably just... Krill's a bit focused on the body. He's conscious that obviously there's this reaction going on, but he's still gonna, I think, step forward a little bit more until he's sort of next to the body. Krill might maybe perceive that it's something he didn't see before, as opposed to something that was caused by him stepping closer.
What was that thing that we fought that was like Harshnag, but
that was a ice rime, I think it was called. Rime Hulk. Rime Hulk was its official name. Sorry, Rime Hulk.
But we fought.
This doesn't look like that.
No.
So, or certainly doesn't look like it right this second. But you start seeing these like things sort of like start like drifting up and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's like it's a continual like thing that's happening. It's not like it's just a little bit just like flames or anything like that, but it's just sort of like lifting up from it. You carrying on?
Yeah.
Can I just do an Arcana check first, just to see if I can work out what it is?
Okay, give me an Arcana roll.
That's going to be a 10.
10. Yeah, you don't know. But it's not long after you have that sort of feeling about just uneasiness and not knowing what this is, when all of a sudden this substance sort of starts forming more and more, and eventually you see above the corpse a frost giant formed out of wisps of smoke, and you can see through it. You can see like it's translucent, so you can see through it, but it's very clearly formed. You can see its clothes, you can see its face, and it looks down at you menacingly, and then looks up and sees Harshnag, and he says, "Oh, hello there. The name's Igaron.
Fucking hell.
What are you doing here?"
Fucking hell. Krill jumps back a little bit.
"Oh, no need to run away, friend. Where are you going?"
"Oh, you just startled me, because a moment ago you were a dead corpse. I mean, there's still a dead corpse, but now there's you and the dead corpse. It's a little bit odd."
"Yeah, I do apologise for my body down there. There's not much I can do about it. I can't really touch things." And he sort of goes over to one of the statues, and you just see his hand move through it. He says, "Can't really do much. Dead. Sorry."
Can I ask you a rather personal question?
Of course.
I mean, I've got a series of rather personal questions. How are you dead, but also here?
How am I dead, but also here? Blimey, that's a question for the ages, isn't it? Well, I'm dead. I'm dead because my dad killed me. First of all, thanks for asking, bringing that up.
That would have been my next question, but
yeah, no, he killed me. How am I here? I'm probably just cursed to just live here for the rest of my life, or me undead.
Why did your father kill you?
He came looking for the Oracle, and they didn't tell him what he wanted to hear, so he killed me.
And what would he want to hear?
He wanted to hear about how he could get more power and become a much more important giant in the Ordning, and unfortunately, the Oracle told him he'd never rise above his station, and in fact, I'd be more important than him. So he didn't like the sound of that, and he killed me with his spear.
So, who is your father, sorry?
Oh, he's his name, which I have momentarily forgotten. His name is Blogothcus.
What a beautiful name.
Oh, it's lovely.
The man that killed you.
Is that like a familiar name? Like, would we heard of Blogothmus before?
No, it doesn't ring any bells.
No.
It's not like an important person in, giant history or anything like that.
You haven't come across it, and you rack your brains and you think you've never heard of this name from history or anything like that.
He killed you with a spear, did he?
Yes.
Special spear?
Well, he does have his own spear, but we came through here using the spear from Strongmouth, so it could have been that one. I couldn't see. He sort of just rammed it through my back a little bit.
Oh, you came through here together.
Yeah,
And then he killed you.
Yes, my dad. Crazy world, isn't it?
So where's the Oracle?
Oh, you've come to see the Oracle as well.
Well, yes, that's why everyone comes here, I assume.
Oh, well, do you know... And he sort of looks over to Harshnag. I'm going to talk to you for a little bit, because you're obviously a giant, so I suspect you probably know a bit, but do you know anything about the Oracle, how it works, or do you need a hand? And Harshnag looks at... forgot I was talking to myself then. Harshnag looks over, sort of stunned and stupefied, and he says, no, it has been a struggle just to get this far. I did not know what we would do once we got here. It's just one foot in front of the other for me at the moment. And Igeron says, "Oh, no worries about it. It's just fine. I can lead you through the process if you want. It's no problem whatsoever. See my body down there. Underneath the body, there are some runes. So what you want to do first and foremost is you want to move my body out of the way so you can stand in the runes. Then, when you stand in the rooms, you can ask the Oracle some questions. Only 6, mind. Once you've asked 6, you're out of luck. There is allegedly a way that you might be able to get more questions, but I don't know how it is. Maybe the Oracle can tell you."
Sorry, lads. Give us a second. Are we using these questions selfishly, or are we going to use them for the greater good?
Well, it depends. Do we get 6 questions each, or 6 questions as a party?
I agree. Well, that's a good question. I think it's 6, for you as a group, to be honest. I don't think that it's once each.
That seems bad, because you guys came through as a 2 and had 6, but we're a 6 and have to divide that 6 by 6 of us.
But when you reach the end of the world and you're getting some questions that'll answer pretty much anything you throw at it, I think you should be happy with 6, if I'm honest.
How long have you been here?
Couldn't tell you.
What? I was wondering that. Where are you from originally?
Oh, we're from all around. We're cloud giants. We move all around. We've sort of lived here, there, everywhere. I think that's why my dad wanted to find out if he could raise himself up.
Sorry, did you say cloud giant?
Cloud giants. Sorry,
I'm
they're
sure
cloud
when
giants.
when you described it.
Yeah, I think I said frost giants because of the frost. Sorry, they're cloud giants.
Okay.
Or he is a cloud giant, I should say.
Igron,
yes.
do you wish for your soul to be settled? Do you wish to move on from this place?
Yeah.
You're a
Don't really thought about it.
You're a tormented soul, bless you.
I tell you what would be nice. I've been stuck in here, and it'd be nice to see some new stuff. So maybe if you could drag my body through the doorway, maybe I could see some new things.
Can I just ask, if you're a cloud giant, have you ever heard of the Countess?
Well, there's lots of counts and countesses.
Perhaps our good friend Sephiros.
Sephiros? No, I don't know Sephiros.
I'm just trying to gauge how long he's been here.
Do you know? Do you know what year it was when you came here?
No, it was the 1259, I think.
Oh, that's good. It's only 1260 now, so you've only been here a year.
I think it's something like 1400 where you are.
Okay.
Igron,
yes.
how far can you move from your body?
I can move all around this room, but I can't go any further. Hang on, let me just try and see if I can nip through that doorway. And you see him, he gets up to the smoke, and he says, "Nope, can't get through there."
Do we have a cloud giant head?
No.
I'm pretty certain we haven't killed a cloud giant.
So if we were to cut this body's head off and take it with us, he can come with us and see the world.
That's what I was thinking. New NPC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll have to ask him for permission, won't we?
Oh, God.
I'd like to see him trying to stop us.
Anything else?
Well, we do have an idea.
Yeah, you might not like it.
Well, do you want to try me?
So it sounds like you've been negatively affected by the ordning or the concept of the ordning. Do you think that's fair to say?
Well, certainly my dad's reaction to the ordning, yeah.
So we don't think the ordning is a thing of good. And basically we want to cut your head off and see if you can come with us to see the world.
A hell of a leap in logic.
Yeah, you see him calculating, thinking, I'm not sure I see the through line on that one there, really. But I'm conflicted. I'll tell you that much. I part of me feels like cutting my head off. What's the worst that's going to happen? I'm already dead. But also it feels a little bit disrespectful.
Oh, we'll do it very respectfully.
Yes, if
Quill starts sharpening the glaive.
If it would at all quell your fears, you look over to my friend here, Dabov. He died and came back. Well, I've got some of the soil from where he died. I call it the soil of hallowed ground. It is a personal and powerful item that I hold dear to me and that I think holds special powers connected with the dead. At the very least, good luck. Maybe if I sprinkle some of that and rub it into your neck, and we do that first, maybe it just might be a bit more respectful.
Yeah, maybe. We can try, can't we? I mean, listen, I can't do much. And he sort of comes over and he sort of wafts his hands through you. He's like, I can't really stop you if you want to try it, really.
Well,
There's not much I can do. We
just want to do it respectfully.
Quinch will rub the some soil of hallowed ground onto his neck.
Okie dokie. You do that, and he sort of like comes in, like as you're doing it, he sort of like floats down, sort of just watches you do it, sort of like pensively, like puts his sort of hand in his sort of chin in his hand. He looks and says, "Oh, okay, that's fine. All right, yeah, okay. Who knows? Might work."
Who wishes to remove the head? Yeah.
I think we know who wishes to.
Okay, come on, bro.
It's very clear.
I mean,
who wishes
with
to.
a glaive, all you're missing is like a black mask, like just to pull out for an executioner.
I mean, I've got the dread helm. I can use that. Has he got long hair? Does he need to lift? Do we need to like move his hair out of the way? Because you're not if he's got like a ponytail that we're then going to like forever remove him from.
He has a long. You can see that he's like, from an age-wise, like if you were to place him age-wise on a human scale, for example, you'd probably think that he's around sort of like early to mid-40s. He's got that sort of look about him. He's not a kid by any means. He's got like a sort of a white beard tapered down to about here. He's got shoulder length hair.
Okay.
A couple of bald patches.
Does someone want to?
About the same age as me, isn't he? Early to mid 40s.
Early to mid 40s. Oh wow, that's a reference. Love it. Yeah.
does somebody want to just pull his beard out of the way so that if we do chop it, it's not removed from him as a ghost also?
But why don't we
splitting into mini ghosts?
Why don't we try like?
Hello, I'm Igeron's beard ghost. I just meant head.
Hiya,
not
Dad.
head. I just meant obviously we're removing the body, so I didn't know if that would not generate a second ghost, but instead just remove that from the aspect of his ghostly consciousness.
I mean, to be fair, if we're about to cut off his entire body, I don't think he's that worried about the beard.
I mean, would you, if you had a nice long beard, and I'm like, well, you're going to just be a floating head forever. Do you want to keep the beard? You'd probably say, yeah, right.
Well, I don't know. I mean, in time, styles change, so maybe it was cool to have a beard when he died, and now it's not.
Well,
it's always cool to have a beard.
He's frosted over.
Mm-hmm. There is frost over. I mean, it's not completely like it's not like it's ice per se. It's not like you'd have to chop through the ice. It's just a thick layer of frost that you could probably get through.
Greg, being a man who respects a beard, will go down and move the beard out the way of the axe.
You want to put your hands near where Krill's swinging? All right.
All right. What do you want from me? Like a strength or?
What is an attack roll, right? You're just doing the chop. Just give me a decent attack roll.
Yeah, to be fair.
I mean, it depends. Are you trying to do this? You trying to do this in one, or are you you happy just to take a few?
Would it be an attack?
Lops? Yeah,
because he's got an AC of a dead body.
I'll let you roll at advantage.
I guess I don't.
I'm essentially. It's about how accurately you hit it, whether you take it off in one fell swoop.
Good luck, Greg.
Don't forget to rage and Great Weapon Master as well.
Greg would have thrown the beard and then walked away. It wouldn't have been
I rolled advantage and got 25 both times.
Okay, yeah, you managed to do it. Like literally, you just come down. It sort of almost cracks off, like the frost and the ice has sort of like frozen it. The rigor mortis and all that sort of stuff. It's just like it's not shattered into a bit, but cutting through it is more like, as I say, it's more like chipping away at ice than it is at chipping away, cutting through flesh. And the head sort of like rolls away slightly, and as that happens, you see this blue ghost of Igeron sort of like just completely disappear and sort of like almost get sucked into the head like a ghost trap. And you see it on the like laying on the side of the floor, and all of a sudden you sort of see just like two blue like lights like form in the eye sockets, and it doesn't move, but you just hear, "Oh, I'm down here now then." Okay, well it worked. Whatever you're trying to do, I'm down here.
So, do you remember first session? We made a goblin backpack.
I just have to say, look, I made the decision to make this character a fun one. Right? Didn't have to be. I thought, look, you've had a lot of just dross. Let's throw a little fun little character in there. Didn't expect any of this. Didn't expect him to be suddenly some sort of spiritual guardian that you're going to carry around for the rest of all days. But there you go.
How much are you regretting the voice?
We'll find out, won't we? Minimal at the moment.
So, Dyson Desire, Nightstone, Session 1. It was supposed that we should potentially mutilate a goblin and turn it into a backpack. Hated that idea. What I do think is that with a good amount of rope and some knot tying skills, we could fashion this into a similar backpack.
What do you mean?
Giant's head?
Well, we're just going to carry it around by his hair forever.
That'd be a very good backpack. You'd only get like a couple of coins in there.
I'm sorry. We've said we said, we're going to take you away from here. We're going to show you the world. It was all magical. And then we said, we're going to stick him in a bag of holding. What is the most sensible way that we can carry a giant's head, which is realistically quite heavy? We turn it into a backpack.
Put it on a pike and maybe like a banner bearer sort of thing.
Mount it on the front of Smaug.
Yeah, wow.
Smaug has a hood on
the idea of that, but
okay. Can I just take 1 second here?
Yeah.
And this is I'm speaking to the listeners as much as I'm speaking to you five.
Yeah.
I've presented you with a room where you can have 6 questions and find out anything you want. And we are spending time trying to work out the logistics of how you carry around a slightly camp, terribly accented northern ghost.
That's good.
Well, yeah, we've got to figure out the logistics. We don't want to waste one of our questions asking them how we do it.
God forbid any of this happens, at another time. Then,
All right.
the world.
All right.
Okay, right. Sorry. Yeah,
No. I want this to carry on. I just love the fact that I've just gone like you've spent weeks and months to get to this point, and I've gone. There you go. You've got some. You can now ask some questions, but you want to fuck around with this ghost for a little bit. Fine, why not?
Shouldn't have given him such a good voice. It's your fault.
Anyway, he's still on the floor. So, what are you doing?
I'm gonna. Oh, come.
Are you fixed to the head now? Can you not release yourself?
Doesn't seem like it. I feel like I'm just stuck in this head now.
This seems worse, if anything.
I can look around a little bit, but I can't really. I seem to be stuck in the head.
This is.
But luckily, you did say I can come with you, right?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, absolutely.
If you want to, yes.
This is
I'd love to.
considerably a worse experience.
I don't know how long I've been here, but all I've seen is these 8 walls. So
How would you
So
like
at the
to
very
see
least,
another
we should-
dimension? Perhaps
6 walls even.
Yeah, I was there counting.
Well, it's actually a decagon. There's 10 walls.
Oh,
didn't pay much attention.
So, sorry to break it to you.
Sorry.
Anything else I can-
No. What walls are you counting?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
How the fuck's it a decagon?
Again, all important information we need to establish right this second.
All right, we're going to chuck the head in the bag of hold'em. We've decided it's happening.
All right, well,
I think that's
at
up
least
to
it's
Dweezil.
something new.
He's going to see the other giant heads and be like, fuck.
I don't feel like we can put this in the bag of
Yeah, I'm against that.
No,
I
I'm
think
strongly
we
against
should-
it.
I think we fashion a backpack.
Have we still got Sebastian with us?
No, he died.
No, he's still alive. He's in the bag.
I thought he died with a frost staff.
No, we never established that. He's still in Harshnag's bag, tucked away in
I
stuff.
can find
Every
the
now and
WhatsApp
again,
message where you said he died.
he is in there.
I
Stick him
reckon,
in there for the time being.
I reckon this giant has a new chariot then. I reckon we strap him to the back of Sebastian.
Yeah, sounds
Oh
sensible.
my god, is this Sebastian's eternal mission?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, right. So let's actually take a bit of a serious step here. What are we doing? Right, we'll
Yeah.
establish what we do with this head at some
Yeah,
point.
we'll put it to
Yeah,
the side for a minute. Let's roll the
Harshnag
Let's just
carries
say-
him for now.
Let's just say, yeah, we stick him in Harshnag's bag for a little bit.
Yeah.
Harshnag takes the head, feels a bit weird that he's holding, despite killing other, but it feels a bit weird that he's now got this ghost head, and he says, I am sorry about this. It is, but we have a goat in there, so perhaps you two could make some. Oh, that sounds great.
Oh, can he talk with animals, can he?
Yes.
But we won't know until I do the side quest of Sebastian and Igeron bag adventures.
So if we can easily move the Igron's body, then I would like to do so. However, if it's too heavily frosted, I should.
No. You okay? You head over to the body, and Harshnag himself also comes and he helps move it out of the way. Roll me a little perception while you do so.
Oh, 16.
Okay, 16. As you're doing this, you're sort of looking over the body, and you notice two things. As Igeron appears to have some very fancy-looking armor upon him, a breastplate. He also appears to have something clutched in his hand, in his frozen right hand.
Is that a morning star?
No, it appears to be something like he's got something like it's clutched around it.
Yeah,
So
we'll
it's
have a
almost
look
like
at what that
holding something. It appears to be an opal of some kind.
is. Oh,
What colour? Opal.
what colour?
It is. Let me see if it says. It's orange.
Oh,
It's about 3 inches on each side, and is about half an inch thick.
Is there anything on the opal, like insignias or anything?
Yeah, there appears to be a rune on it.
Could you describe this rune, please? Is it one that we've seen? Is it a giant rune?
It's one that you've seen on the archway out of it. Remind me which ones you've seen.
We have seen the one that looks like a monkey. The one that looks like one of the face grabbers out of the Alien movies.
Hang on a second. You have seen
Rune 3, Rune 2.
Okay,
Rune
so you've seen stone, sky,
and hill.
And yes, you've seen Ild. So you recognise this one. This one appears to be Ild, which is fire.
Nice.
He says, just double checking. Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah, you see that there's within it, like almost, like you get those quote unquote tacky stalls at the shopping malls where there's like an image like engraved on the inside of it. It's almost like that. It's sat within the thing. There's this rune sort of like just shimmering within it. You haven't touched it or anything like that, but you can just see it within the thing. Okay.
As we move his body, do we see the runes that he was referring to?
Yeah, so you remove the body from the area, and you can still see there's some frost coating the floor, but underneath it, you see a 20-foot diameter mithril inlaid circle with a rune you do not recognise. It's not around the archway. You've not seen it whatsoever. It looks like, he says, if there is a picture of it, I hope there is. That's weird. It said it's given me see Appendix E. So I've got Appendix A, B, C, and D. That's useful. But it doesn't look like any one you've seen before. So it looks somewhat like a crown. But not really. It's the closest thing you could essentially attribute it to.
Does the opal in his hand look like it's related to this thing on the floor?
No, not at all. No, different, completely different. Don't even look similar.
So I think we should discuss the 6 questions we plan to ask before we ask them.
I think that is a good question. Do we want to try and hack it?
There is also. Does any of you speak Dwarvish?
Yeah.
Dweezil?
Yeah.
Around the outside of this rune and everything, you see written in Dwarvish script, ask your questions and know truth.
Another delicious episode in the can. Thanks for listening. You can find us on social media. Maybe you could share your favourite moments with us. If you have any friends or family that you think would enjoy the antics of the circus, we'd appreciate it if you told them about our podcast. What is this voice? I don't know, but isn't it just so?
If you have any spare change, you can support us financially on Ko-fi. It is of paramount importance that you do so.
Open square bracket. Hi lads, here's the script for the outro I'm planning to record. I don't know how to end it, so let me know if you can think of anything witty to finish it at. Oh.